Good morning from Tegucigalpa, the capital of Honduras, that small country in the center of Central America, here in Latin America, where a tectonic shift in diplomatic relations is currently ongoing. And the reason for that is that Honduras, on Saturday night, took the decision to establish formal diplomatic relations with Beijing and to break the formal diplomatic relations which have existed since 1941, more than 8 decades, with Taiwan. And that is now going to have implications not only for this country, but also going to be reflected around Central America and Latin America as more and more countries, slowly but surely, come over to the diplomatic side of the One China policy, which states that China is one country and that includes the island of Taiwan. And while it may not seem so momentous that the country of Honduras, this small country home to about 8 million people here in the heart of Central America, now recognizes a different state across the Pacific on the other side of the world, it is a big deal here for not only China, not only Honduras, but for the state of diplomatic relations from Central America and the Western Hemisphere as a whole. Because at this point now, it was 14 states around the world which continued to be Taiwan's allies, but it is now 13, and the pressure on those states diplomatically is going to be greater than ever. So just introduce myself. Hello, my name's Alasdair Baverstock. I am the Mexico correspondent for CGTN, but you find us here today in Honduras because when this news broke on Saturday night at around 10 p.m., less than 36 hours ago, we were straight on a plane to Honduras to cover this story for the channel. But that's quite enough for me. We're going to see if we can talk to Hondurans as they walk around and as they get their morning started here. So we're going to see if we can talk to these people over here. Señora, buenos días. Señor, señorita. She doesn't seem to want to talk. We'll see if we can talk to some other people around here this morning as we... Here we are. So Tegucigalpa, it's a mountainous city, as you can see here behind me, in the heart of Central America. We're going to see if we can talk to some people here. Hola, buenos días. There we go. People seem to have disappeared at this point. It's a slow morning here. Anyway, not to worry, I can't see anyone down there at the moment. All right, let's see if we can talk to someone over here. All right. So the question is, why now? Why in March 2023 would Honduras make this decision to change diplomatic ties? And the simple answer is that it is an ongoing trend here. It's something which is happening slowly but surely in Central America. But we're going to talk a bit more about that in a minute because René here, who was talking to us just now. René, buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Entonces, mira, usted se llama René, ¿verdad? Sí. Entonces, estamos hablando sobre la decisión que tomó Honduras para romper con Taiwán y establecer con China. ¿Cómo lo vio usted?
Bueno, a mi punto de vista no lo miro bueno.
He's saying he's not so in favor. And why is that? ¿Y por qué?
Como le repito, bueno, Taiwán daba ayuda para los pueblos en lo que es la siembra, en lo que es la salud. Y todo eso ya Taiwán lo retiró todo, pues.
So he's saying that Taiwan was helping out in rural communities when it came to agriculture and health, and that is now going to be gone. But of course, establishing of diplomatic relations with China is going to mean that sort of thing does happen from the Chinese side as well. Entonces, ¿por qué dice usted que no espera que China haga lo mismo?
Porque me imagino que Estados Unidos no está contento también con lo que hizo la presidenta, pues, hacer laxo con China, pues.
So he's saying that the United States is not going to be happy that Honduras has taken this decision, despite the fact that the United States is also having diplomatic relations with Beijing. ¿Y no le parece como algo, quiero decir, como hipocrítico que Estados Unidos teniendo relaciones con Beijing, no quiere que otros estados lo tengan. It does seem hypocritical that the United States does have relations with Beijing, yet it discourages other states from doing it?
No, porque recuerde que las remesas se pierden, pues se llegarían a perder, habrían bastante deportados de parte de Estados Unidos.
Oh, he's saying that he thinks now that remittances, dollar remittances from Hondurans in the United States would go down as a result of this, because the United States would increase deportations of Hondurans from the United States. Porque dice que como un cambio diplomático podría resultar en más deportaciones de Estados Unidos.
Sí, porque me imagino yo que la presidenta aquí, no me imagino que dentro de poco va a querer cortar los lazos con Estados Unidos también. Me imagino yo, pero me imagino que ese es el punto que quiere llegar ella.
Okay, bueno. Entonces, all good? Yeah, fantastic. All right. So, entonces, ¿cuál es la opinión que usted como hondureño tiene del estado de China hoy en día? What is the opinion as a Honduran of China as a state today in the modern world?
No sé con qué convenio habrían lazos con China, Honduras, pues. Porque la verdad no está todo más seguro con Taiwán, pues. En mi opinión.
Okay, está bien. So he's saying he doesn't really know what establishing relations with Honduras will mean for this country because of those 80 years of diplomatic relations with Taiwan. René, muchísimas gracias. Muy amable. Muchas gracias. All right, there's another chap over here. Let's see if we can talk to him. All right, here we are. There we go. Whew. This chap's on the phone. Señor, buenos días. ¿Cómo está? ¿Puedo hablar con usted rapidito? Somos de la prensa internacional.
Yo también soy de prensa. ¿Sobre qué?
Bueno, ok, entonces mejor imposible que hablar con usted. Entonces, estamos hablando sobre el cambio de relaciones diplomáticas entre Taiwán y Beijing para Honduras. ¿Cómo lo vio usted? Bueno, más bien, ¿por qué Honduras hizo esto en ese momento? Why has Honduras taken this decision now?
Bueno, yo pienso que esta decisión va a ser prácticamente tomada por el gobierno de Xiomara Castro.
So it's been a decision taken by the government of Xiomara Castro. She's the current president.
Ella es la que dirige la política exterior en Honduras, básicamente, y ella tendrá su ideal principal para esto.
Fue una promesa de campaña de. It was a campaign promise of the president in 2021.
Es correcto, esto está en el plan de gobierno, por eso pienso que no es de extrañarse esta determinación de romper relaciones con Taiwán y pasar a lo que es una relación con la China popular.
Perfecto. Entonces, so you're saying it's not a surprise because it was a campaign promise of Xiomara Castro, the current president, during the campaign of 2021. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que va a esperar Honduras de la República Popular de China ahora que han establecido relaciones? What will what will Honduras as a country expect from China now?
Bueno, lo que espera el pueblo hondureño en general es que se abra el comercio con China para buscar un desarrollo del país que tanto se necesita. Se ha criticado mucho el poco apoyo de Taiwán y ahora se espera que mejoren las condiciones con la China popular.
So you're saying that what they hope above all is an increase in commercial ties with China, because there has been a lot of criticism in Honduras. There's a lot of criticism of Taiwan in recent years from Honduras. Si quieres pasamos por acá. Because of the lack of economic support and the lack of trade. Entonces bueno, y ahora ustedes obviamente como hondureños han visto lo que está pasando en El Salvador con el Belt and Road, lo que está pasando como el estadio. Eso es algo que pues a los hondureños les está convenciendo. Seeing what is being done in El Salvador, which we'll talk about in a bit, exactly, is that helping to convince Hondurans that the same is necessary to establish relations with China?
Bueno, yo pienso, en lo particular, en lo personal, pienso que eso, los estadios de fútbol en El Salvador, no debe ser un motivo para ¿cómo se llama?, haber iniciado las relaciones con China, porque Honduras tiene cosas más importantes.
Por supuesto.
Se está hablando de la construcción de una represa, un ferrocarril interoceánico, estas situaciones pueden venir a beneficiar al país, pero lo que es el deporte, que no.
No, pues I mean, What's happening, well, we'll talk about El Salvador in a minute, pero un estadio pues tal vez fue un peor ejemplo, pero plantas de tratamiento de agua, muelles, cosas así, es como infraestructura que ahorita hoy en día le hace falta a Honduras.
De acuerdo, eso le hace falta mucho a Honduras para poder desarrollarse. Y esperamos que con este nuevo acuerdo diplomático y financiero con la China Popular, si se pudiesen lograr estos objetivos.
Claro. Y mi última pregunta para ustedes, que ahora en Centroamérica, los países latinos, solo falta Guatemala, ¿verdad? ¿Cuáles son las presiones que hay sobre Guatemala ahorita?
Bueno, yo desconozco cuáles presiones podrían haber, pero ellos pueden tomar sus propias decisiones diplomáticas, con quién está o quién está.
Sí. Entonces, bueno, una cosa positiva aquí para Honduras para terminar.
¿Cosa positiva para Honduras?
¿O no?
¿Que necesitamos de China? No, el apoyo, la apertura, la inversión y la apertura de un intercambio comercial con ellos sería muy importante.
Eso es lo más importante. Señor, muchísimas gracias. Ya está. So, like it's Melissa, here she is. Okay, so there you have it. This chap from the local press saying that it's going to be absolutely vital when it comes to China is going these diplomatic relations is not only investment but an opening up of more commercial ties between the two countries. That is what is going to be seen because in Honduras it's a very third world country, underdeveloped, and infrastructure and investment in this country is going to be what they want to see from China. So a positive thing here, a lot of Hondurans saying a positive thing, but at the same time, I would say something which is sort of casting Honduras into the unknown, because after 80 years of diplomatic relations with Taiwan, those have now been broken and is the beginning of a new era in cross-Pacific relations here in Honduras. So as we mentioned, the establishment of diplomatic relations with China was a campaign promise of Xiomara Castro, the current president, during her campaign in December of 2021. So it has now come to fruition, and not a moment too soon, because next month Taiwanese officials will be visiting not only the United States but also their allies in this region, which may remain currently Belize, that Afro-Caribbean country which is located just to the north of Honduras, as well as Guatemala. But as Guatemala remains one of only 2 Latin American states currently which maintains relations with Taiwan, the other being Paraguay in South America. And one of the major reasons, as we've seen, is commercial ties. They want to see greater cross-Pacific trade, particularly when it comes to their agro-produce as well as minerals which are being taken from here, and very important economic source for this underdeveloped country. So we are going to be continuing to cover this story throughout the next couple of days as Honduras moves into this new diplomatic era of cross-Pacific relations with Beijing. It's going to be very interesting. We're going to be talking to Hondurans, we're going to be talking to analysts, we're going to be talking to officials throughout. So please stay tuned to CGTN. We'll be bringing you coverage throughout the day and this week. I've been Alasdair Baverstock reporting here for CGTN from Tegucigalpa, the beautiful capital of Honduras here in Central America.